Alright, I just want to start by saying this video does show a motor vehicle accident. So if footage like that shocks you or you wish to look away, be advised that it's going to be in this video. So viewers' discretion is advised. Alrighty, let's get into it. This is more of a statement than anything, and I promised myself that I'd do it so that I can become a better man and a better golfer. So what is Brokeback Golf? I started this page around February this year, 2026, with the title Brokeback Golf. Now this is due to an injury that I suffered in December of 23 as a victim of a motor vehicle accident. Contrary to popular belief or opinion, the title does not correlate with two married blokes having a crack in the mountains. But it is a good movie. Now, up next, I'm going to show you some footage of a motor vehicle accident which I was involved in. If you don't cope with this kind of stuff, please look away now. If I'm being honest, when I first saw the video, I laughed initially. However, the reality kicked in pretty quickly once I realised I essentially could have died. Yeah. Even thinking back now, the feelings were very real, and I'm definitely lucky to be here, that's for sure. Now, the doctors and surgeons that I spoke with did say that had it not been for my years of experience, with weight training and resistance training and exercise, I might not have been so lucky. If you're thinking about exercising or training, stop thinking and go and do it, because it could change your life. Bit of a tangent there, sorry. Anyway, so I had 2 weeks off work after realising work cover weren't going to look after me. So yeah, I went back to training clients and continuing my role as PT manager with a new bit of hardware. Actually, still here, I think. Little walking stick. My partner, she bought me the stickers for it. My favourite flower is a sunflower, so. But yeah, I had the walking stick, almost 2 years. Turns out, other than a sore ankle and heavy concussion, I had severe disc herniation at the lower part of my back, and the bottom disc was just completely mangled, crushed. Like if you were to get like a handful of crisps, like chips, and just crush them, that's what my disc looked like. During the 18 months of rehab, insurance, lawyers, and I guess coming to terms with the limitations that I was now left with after the fact, I unfortunately turned to drugs and alcohol as a vice, just to get through the pain and mental suffering, I suppose. This is also something that I've struggled with in the past, and I guess the accident just triggered a vigorous cycle back into my old ways, just 10 times worse. Yeah. So through triumphs and tribulations, I went cold turkey, but struggled to maintain like a healthy work and sort of lifestyle balance. I don't need that. So amongst all that, one of my clients suggested playing golf. He just said, come out with him on a Saturday, just him and a few good blokes, and have a hit. And yeah, I guess after a month or so of him chewing my ear off, I decided to get like a starter set of clubs. Where are they? Got the Brosdens. It's like $800 for a full set with a bag too. So yeah, I grabbed the set and joined up at Pine Rivers Golf Club, north side of Brisbane. Did I catch the golf bug or what? Holy guacamole. So I joined up in August of 2025, and then after getting my GA handicap in September and winning my first Stableford comp, I was hooked. Like you wouldn't believe. Like doing your first line, or being drunk for the first time. Is just like, as an addict, it's tough, and golf gave me that sort of hit, but I didn't realise it at the time. So that was in September, and after 3 months of sort of sinking piss and playing golf and just having a good time, I had enough of the drinking part. I started walking the course instead of jumping in the golf cart, and really wanted to, get back to being athletic. So I gave the piss up at the start of the year, and I haven't looked back, which has been really good. It's almost 6 months to the day. Yeah, 6 months on Tuesday that I've been clean and sober, which is really, really good. I'm bloody proud of myself for that. So yeah, fast forward to February this year when I started this channel. I realised I wasn't the only person who was doing something like this. Shout out to Luke Brown. I believe his handle is Going Pro on YouTube. I'll chuck his handle in there. Yeah, I only just discovered him a couple months into being sober. I think I saw him on the news or something, so that was really cool. And it was also a good segue for me to suggest to my partner about starting my own channel. So back then, my partner and I agreed that if I could monetize the YouTube thing and stay off the piss and off the gear, then yeah, she was sort of just like, we'll have at it, go for it. Just make sure that it doesn't take away from our lifestyle as a couple. We don't have kids. We just got a dog and a cat. So as long as it doesn't take away from our lifestyle and we can still have our, most of the weekend together, yeah, go for it. And if I can make money at the same time, then why not, So I decided to think of a goal, and the goal was to get to single-digit handicap. And the reason I thought of that goal was because I was sort of knocking strokes off every week, like whether it be 0.5 or a full stroke off my handicap, weekly, every fortnight or whatever. And it was just, again, didn't realise at the time, but it was just becoming really addictive, right? So with the single-digit goal set, by the time my membership rolls over at Pine Rivers, the PGA Pro there at Pine Rivers, Josh being my coach, we've knocked off 19 strokes off my handicap. So I was 33.2, and I've gotten down to 13.9. I think I'm at 14.9 now, and I'll touch on that in a moment. But yeah, shout out to Josh, great coach. If you're in the north side of Brizzy, I've spoken about him before in one of my videos. He's very good. He's very good. But the funny thing about golf is, much like drugs and alcohol and even gambling, I suppose there's an addictive nature about it, right? I've found myself enjoying golf less and troubling myself with shooting a low score, much like chasing a high you get from, getting a bag or drinking 50 beers with the boys, if that makes sense. So on that note, I'm taking a step back from playing actual golf as much as I have been, and I'm going to try and focus more on mobility and, like I said, being athletic, and of course maintaining a healthy lifestyle. With the injury that I've got, that's probably the most important thing that I lost sight of, as well as obviously spending time with my partner. And I've got a nutrition course that I'd like to complete. I've fallen behind in that as well, so yeah, I need to do the important things. I mean, it's funny, when I've got very little responsibility, but I let golf sort of take control of a lot of things and lost sight of what was actually important. Don't get me wrong, golf is important to me, but it's not so important that it needs to take over my life. And my handicap has gone right down, which is awesome, really quickly, which is even better. But I have since lost a lot of patience with it. I tend to get, frustrated very quickly after, having the opportunity to shoot under 80, which I still haven't done yet, and then one bad shot will trigger another bad shot, and I'll just pick up the next 5 holes and give up. And that's not what I'm about. I'm not usually that kind of person, but it was a familiar feeling when I was on the gear and on the piss, because I would always find reasons to blame other things, and that's pretty much what addiction is, right? You sort of try to justify things in order to, I guess, make your peers understand your reasoning behind why you do what you do. And yeah, I've sort of fallen back into that, what's the word? I've fallen back into that habit, and yeah, I'm happy that I caught myself before I let it get out of hand, but I'm sure some of you guys can see out there, even the fellas at the club, a few of them have sort of agreed that, yeah, maybe it is good to step back for a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 70% of my clubs in the missus' car, which will be tough, but at least I won't have access to to the utensils and the hardware that I need to play golf. Now you might be thinking, oh, why, you can't go and practice. I don't need to practice. I know what I have got to do. Excuse me. I said 70% of my clubs because I'll keep the putter. I'll keep maybe a wedge. I might keep the. I don't even need to keep my driver because I've got a mini driver from the op shop the other week. So yeah, I'll be keeping probably 3 clubs at home, so I can practice putting, practice chipping, and practice my swing with the driver, like a longer stick. Why am I putting my sticks in the car? Access. If you're out there watching this and you're an addict, you'll know that having access to something that you're addicted to is the worst possible thing. Like, people can talk about going cold turkey and all these kinds of things, but that little bit of access can be the difference between 6 years sobriety or 6 minutes. You know what I mean? And all it takes is a little trigger, and then a little bit of justification, and then all of a sudden you're going down that slippery slope again. So I can't play golf when my sticks are at my partner's work, theoretically. Alrighty? I've got addictive tendencies, and I feel like golf has taken over my life in a negative way right now. So it's time for a change. Now you might be thinking, what's the point of this video then? Like, what are you you're telling us you're a drug addict and, now you're addicted to golf, like whoop-de-doo. And it's not that. It's the point here is to promote the access that we have to a platform like YouTube, so we can acknowledge the things that we as humans struggle with day to day in life and in golf, right? I started this channel to be productive outside work and obviously to stay off the piss. Hopefully sort of in turn creating entertaining content that we can all laugh at and enjoy together. But the longer I go on like this, the more I discover it's much more than that, right? It's about failure, learning, commitment, adapting, all things that are sort of relevant to golf and, in life, I suppose. Does that make sense? I'm just rambling here. I could go on for hours, but yeah, you lot are probably bored by now, so I'll leave it there. So hit like if you stayed till the end. I really appreciate it if you did. Hit subscribe so we can build this community and talk about things that maybe you don't feel comfortable talking with somebody face to face, mate. All right? No dramas. Yeah, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.